Hi students, welcome back. So we were studying about solids, liquids and gases. And what is the collective name for solid, liquid and gas? They are collectively called matter. And we discussed about what are the factors that differentiate a solid from liquid, a liquid from gas and a gas from solid, right? And I hope everyone has gone through the previous day's topics and are thorough with the taught portions, right? Today we are going to discuss about another two topics. The first one is about the expansion and contraction, then physical and the chemical changes. So first, we will discuss about the expansion and contraction of matter. That is, we have studied that matter can always change from one form to another, right? It can change from one state to another. That is, on heating, a solid can be converted into liquid and a liquid can be converted into vapors. Similarly, on cooling, a vapor can be converted into liquid and liquid can be again converted into solid on freezing. So, in all these processes, what matters is the temperature. That is, if there is a change in temperature, we can always change the matter from one state to another. So, expansion and contraction, it also depends upon temperature. That is, solid expands on heating and contracts on cooling. So, first we will discuss about how it expands on heating. We know that matter is made up of molecules and the molecules are closely packed, right? And they always have a tendency to move from one another, that is move from each other. So when we heat a solid, it has a tendency to expand. And how does it expand? This is because these molecules will gain some energy. We are supplying heat and heat is a form of energy, right? So when the molecules gain this energy, they have a tendency to move away from each other more faster. So as a result, it expands. For example, when we heat ice or when ice is subjected to heating, it gets converted into liquid, that is the water. Then how is it expanding? That is, it is expanding in the sense the volume of almost increases. There is a minute increase in the volume and that increase is due to the expansion of the particles. The particles are increasing in size. For example, if the cap of a jam, a bottle cap of a jam is tight, how will we open it? If it is airtight and if we cannot open it, we will dip it in hot water, right? So we are actually applying heat energy. That is, we are supplying heat. And when we give this heat, that is when we immerse this in hot water, the lid expands. That is, it increases in size and it becomes easy to open. That is, if we immerse a bottle of jam in water, that is hot water, it is easy to open the lid. This is due to the expansion on heating. Now, contracts on cooling. When we observe, during the summer season, we can see many electric cables and electric wires hanging here and there, right? But during the winter season, this hanging cannot be seen. That is, they become tight. This is because on cooling it contracts in the size since the particles becomes more closer. The particles get closer and they become more tight. So that is why we can see hanging wires during summer season, but it is not seen during winter season. So expansion and contraction means substances expands on heating and contracts on cooling. Now moving to the next topic, that is physical change and chemical change. When do we say that a matter has undergone change? When it changes its color, its shape, its size, or if there is a change in the state itself, we say that the matter has changed, right? Water can be converted into ice can be converted into vapor, right? Then we can tear a piece of paper, we can burn it. So depending upon the change it is occurring, changes are classified into physical change and chemical change. And physical change means it is only physical appearance, that is, it is external change. External change in the sense, what do you mean by physical appearance? What are the factors that we consider as a physical appearance? Shape, size, height, weight, all this comes under physical appearance, right? Similarly, in the case of substances also, the physical factors, that is physical characteristics means the color of the substance, the shape of the substance and the state of the substance, that is whether it is a solid, liquid or gas. So that is what we call the physical characteristics. And if there is a change in this physical characteristics or physical properties, we call it as a physical change. So here in the case of physical change, the change is happening only in the physical appearance. That is, it is external only. So no new products is formed. That is, a new product is not formed if ice is converted into water. No new substance is formed, right? Water, it is a solid form of water is ice and the liquid form is water. A new substance is not formed. So it is a physical change, that is melting of ice. Then tearing of paper. If we cut a piece of paper or cut a paper, what will happen? Only the paper is getting converted into a small paper. There is no new paper is formed, right? New substance is not formed. So such changes are called the physical changes. The changes in which no new substance is formed, they are called the physical changes. Examples are melting of ice, then cutting of paper. And another peculiarity of physical changes, it is reversible. That is, if we melt ice into water, it can be again converted into ice. Similarly, if we cut a piece of paper or cut a paper into pieces, what will happen? If we stick it with gum, we can again make a big sheet, right? So it is a physical change. In physical change, it is reversible. That is, it can be brought back to the previous position. Now, chemical change. Chemical change means the matter is changing as a whole. It gets converted entirely into a new substance. So, in physical change, we discussed about cutting of paper. And what if we are burning that paper? What will happen? Will it be possible to bring it back to the previous stage? That is, will we be able to bring it back as a paper? No, right? It will be converted into ash, and this ash cannot be converted back into paper again. So in the case of a chemical change, what is happening? The matter is getting converted into another thing. A new substance is formed. Burning of paper, burning of wood. What is the new substance formed? Ashes are formed, right? And this ashes cannot be again converted into paper or wood. So it is a chemical change. That means chemical changes are irreversible. That cannot be brought back to the previous stage. Burning of paper is an example for chemical change. Similarly, cooking of food. When we cook a food, is it possible for us to bring it back to the same old vegetables? No, right? So, cooking of food is a chemical change. Similarly, ripening of fruits. That is, if a fruit is getting ripened, will it be able to bring back as a raw fruit? No, right? So, all these are examples of chemical changes. That is the difference between physical change and a chemical change. A physical change is a temporary change and no new substances formed. But a chemical change, it is a permanent change and a new substance will be formed and we cannot bring it back to the previous position. So these are the topics that we discussed today. First one is expansion and contraction. Matter expands on heating and contracts on cooling. Then physical and chemical changes. So these are the things about matter. That is, everything is made up of matter. Matter is anything that occupies space and has some mass. And matter can be converted from one form to another by the application of temperature. That is, by a change in temperature. Then we studied about the properties of solid, liquid and gases. And today we studied about the expansion and contraction of matter. Then physical and chemical changes. So with this we have completed this chapter, that is solid, liquid and gases. So students, please read the textbook and go through the new terms and study the new terms. Okay. So we are ending up for today. Thank you.